in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the latest virtual Elite FPL breakfast show. A bit of a change today. We're not going to be specifically talking about tonight's game week, which is game week 29. I'm pretty much going to be going through the next 10 game weeks. I'm just going to do a quick overview of essentially the best teams to be picking from. Pretty much I've done a wild card and I just want to talk about exactly what players you should be going for, etc, because I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter. Of course it's just a very, very, very small sample size, but a lot of people are thinking of wild card. I do find it a bit weird that I said that I was going to be wild carding and then a few days later everybody on Twitter is going, I'm going to be wild carding. It's very, very peculiar indeed. And up on screen at the moment is my wild card team. For people listening on audio, it is Pope in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Mariappa, Dan, Salah, Sarr, Mane, Sane, Traore, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, and on the bench, Lascelles, Greenwood, and Danny Simpson of Bournemouth. And yeah, I have been looking through the next 10 game weeks basically, and I keep going on and on and on about this, but the easiest way I find playing this game is by simply picking players from teams that have got green fixtures. And if we look up on screen right now, I've got the season ticker open. We've got the last 10 game weeks. In my opinion, or based on the information that's at hand right now, Crystal Palace, Everton, Liverpool, Man City, United, Norwich, Wolves have probably got for the next, and Leicester have probably got the best 10 games over this period, within reason. I've decided that what I'm going to do in my wildcard team is essentially choose the players that you must have in this game no matter what, essentially that are fixture proof. So, as I've just mentioned with my team here, you cannot, I'm sorry, but you cannot go in this game without Alexander-Arnold, Salah or Mane, Vardy. I think them 4 players, and you could probably throw in Sane despite the fact that he's gone off a bit off the boil of late. And what I mean by that is not returning double-digit hauls as consistently as he was. But certainly Trent, Salah, Mane and Vardy are 4 that I think you have to own no matter what. I've gone with players like Calvert-Lewin because he's a goal-scoring machine, and as I've just mentioned, his upcoming fixtures, Crystal Palace away, West Ham away, Bournemouth at home, Sheffield United away, Arsenal at home, and so on and so forth. He can score in every single one of those games, plus he's only 6.4. Jamie Vardy, don't even need to speak about him. I mean, his upcoming fixtures, Burnley away, Liverpool at home, Aston Villa away, Crystal Palace at home, Newcastle at home, Norwich away. Those 6 fixtures alone, I can see him getting a minimum of a goal a game in that. Salah and Mane, we don't really need to talk about. The Man City assets, now I've been toying around with, I spent about 20 minutes choosing players that I wanted. Martial was somebody that I was looking at, certainly, but I just couldn't afford having Mane, Salah and Trent in my team. There was even a possibility of me getting rid of Trent and bringing in a couple of Chelsea defenders for argument's sake and upgrading Sane to Kevin De Bruyne. But I felt, no, I want to go... Differential's a bit strong, but having players like Traore, who is in really good form at the moment, Sarr's another one who I'll happily have for home fixtures. He is virtually, within reason, guaranteed attacking returns in home fixtures. Well, the next 2 fixtures he's got Newcastle tonight at home, and then it's Norwich away. I'm willing to do what I did when I first started playing this game, which is just switch and change certain players in and out. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's just a fact that sticking with a core set of players for me is ideal, really. And if you can just bring in and out certain players, in this case Traore, Sarr, Calvert-Lewin, I know they're really, really cheap, but you can bring in other players that could start hitting form. When I look at this team here, the players that I'm not... I mean, there's quite a few in there that I'm not specifically directly happy with, but it's mainly the heavy hitters. Like, do I go with double Liverpool attack? I was seriously thinking of going double Liverpool defence instead, getting in Trent and Robertson and getting rid of... I think I saw that Liverpool have more home fixtures than away fixtures. I could be completely wrong here. They've got more home fixtures than they got away, and we all know that Salah performs better than Mane at home. So I thought I'll go with Salah, and then I could upgrade Mane to Kevin De Bruyne and go double City. But then, of course, I was second guessing myself, and I was thinking, do I really want double City? Again, City are fixture proof. Southampton away, Brighton at home, Watford away, Burnley at home. Their hardest fixture is Liverpool in game week 33, but once again, I don't think that really matters specifically in this game or even in real life, to be honest with you. I'm more concerned about the defence. I saw Gabriel de Rop, for example, in the Discord menu for Virtual FPL talking about Vinagre, or Viagra, as I called him the other day. But Vinagre is 4.2. Wolves' fixtures are excellent. And as Gabriel said, he's been playing the last 6 fixtures. He's 4.2. And I'd rather take him, for example, over Mariappa. Or even Lascelles. Lascelles I brought in because he's cheap. He's 4.2 or 4.3. If I was to look at the player data for Vinagre as a simple example. And again, what I do appreciate about this game is that I find it very, very, for me, very, very simple to use. A very simple interface. So let's just quickly go down to Vinagre. Here he is. And as Gabriel has rightly stated, last 6 fixtures since game week 23, he is featured in every single match. Bringing in some really, really good returns as well. He brought in 0, admittedly, on game week 28. Another player I was looking at was Saïs. But I think Saïs is 4.6. And to really tap into that Wolves defence, going the cheapest route possible, I think is probably the best way to go. So for example, I could get rid of Lascelles, save me that 0.1, and bring in Vinagre as a simple example. Just to save me that 0.1, which I'll be happy with. And Wolves' fixtures are really, really good. Arsenal at home, okay, that aside. Southampton away, Brighton away, Watford home, Burnley away. They've only got one tough fixture, which is Liverpool at home. And then it's the last 4 matches are looking fantastic. I don't really like playing around with defenders. I think it's a complete waste of time. Again, something that I've learnt playing this game is things that I'll be taking into the real FPL, which are simple things like, if you're bringing in a player, give them time. I wish I'd just stuck with Jason's advice the other day, which is, and I said it at the time when we did the live stream with Dan, if you're going to bring in a player which you're taking a hit for, in this case it was Jamie Vardy, then I think that you should just captain that particular player. I stuck with my guns. I went with Harry Kane because I'd initially just said, look, I'll happily stick with Harry Kane because he's got West Ham away. He duly returned me a goal. He got 2 bonus points, but we all know what Jamie Vardy did. If I'd have just gone with the simple advice Jason gave, which is if you're going to take a hit, for specifically a heavy hitting player, just captain them. If I'd have done that, then it would have been a lot more of a better return from my point of view. So things like that, I think I'm going to stick with. If I've said to myself, this particular player, i.e., if we're looking at the season ticker here, Leicester, for example, if I've said to myself that I'm sticking with Jamie Vardy because he's got a really, really good upcoming set of fixtures, and he blanks against Burnley, for example, and he blanks against Liverpool, I'm not going to do what I do in real, or what I used to do in real FPL, and I probably still will, to be honest with you, which is just rage transfer them out. I'm going to stick with them because I know that I've got to stick with a player that I've put faith in, and I just go against my own judgment for some strange reason. I keep going on about this. Everybody else listens to me. I don't even listen to my own advice. Crystal Palace, I was going to double up on their defence with Guaita in goal and Ward, but Joel Ward hasn't really been starting of late, so I just went with the safety option of Dan. I then saved money on Guaita being 5.1 million. I thought, you know what, I'll save money on him and I'll bring in a Crystal Palace defender. Once again, Crystal Palace at home, very, very solid. There's a high chance that they'll keep a couple of clean sheets over the next... Well, they've got 9 fixtures, which contain some really nice... fixtures. Aston Villa, West Ham, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Norwich. those 5 fixtures alone, I'd like to think he'd get me 2, maybe even 3 clean sheets. He also gets the odd goal here or there. And yeah, I mean, I look at teams that, Burnley, I've got Nick Pope in goal. At the end of the day, for save points wise, I'll happily have him. There's no one really cheap, which I feel will be bringing in decent points returns. I've already mentioned the fact that Guaita was in my team, but for 5.1 million, no, I don't really want to be. I'd rather put that money into outfield players. Sheffield United, I've just got rid of. Their form keeping clean sheets of late has been pretty poor. They've got Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United next in the next 3, 2 of them being away games. Can't see them keeping any clean sheets in the next 3 or even 4 games. In fact, the next clean sheet I can see them getting is either against West Ham or Bournemouth, which isn't until game week 33-34, but I don't need to worry about that. The other team that I'm looking at is United. Like I said, Martial is certainly somebody in which I've been looking at. As I mentioned, if I was to get rid of Mane, it's a question of do I bring in... If I could, for example, bring in... Let's just get rid of Mariappa. Let's just bring in... Because I'd want triple up Liverpool defence. So, for just his attacking threat, let's just stick in Robertson for argument's sake. I've then got 16 million to play with. Could I bring in Kevin De Bruyne? Well, certainly Martial as an example, who I would bring in just to bolster up that attack. It leaves me with 8 million. Then it's a question of who I would bring in. I wouldn't have a clue. I was thinking of going with a 3-4-3 formation, but I realised there's a lot more value in this game, just like real life as well, in midfielders than there are strikers. I've mentioned this before. There's only a couple of strikers that are guaranteed to pretty much give you double-digit returns every single game week, and they're Kane and Vardy. Harry Kane for me is just that bit too expensive. I've just mentioned it. He is very, very consistent, but it's just another captaincy headache I don't want to be having. And I'd rather just go with potentially a perma-captain on Salah, or swap it between Salah, Sane or Vardy, one of the 3. I think having too many captaincy options when they've got decent fixtures just causes that headache. I do like to have players, though, that do like scoring well, but just Kane takes up too much of the budget, and I do think that players like, for example, Martial can bring in the same equivalent returns, specifically at the fact that they are midfielders as well, and they get those extra points for goals, and of course the clean sheet bonus too. Just a quick one regarding the upcoming fixtures. If nobody knows, every single after tonight, so we've got tonight's games, which I'm assuming Jason will be covering, and after tonight, so from game week 30, so this Saturday, game week 30, Virtual FPL is going to be doing a match day every single day. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So a week this Sunday is when Virtual FPL will come to a close. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, Jason made the point that he doesn't know how many times he can stream on an evening, which is completely understandable. I cannot stream whatsoever at night, give or take. It's virtually impossible. However, depending on my work schedule, there's a chance that I could do the odd evening some point next week. There's a chance. If, however, Jason doesn't do a late night stream, or you know what I mean, a stream regarding those particular fixtures, then there's a chance that I may do match of the day challenge style ones like I did the other day. People seem to have enjoyed that. It certainly makes my life a lot more easier because you can just skip certain matches that I have no real interest in. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I'm straight away looking at this as well. I mean, teams to avoid on the wild card if you are doing it. Bournemouth, useless. I mean, even if you weren't on a wild card, and even if they did have good fixtures, they're useless anyway. But Bournemouth, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Brighton, those 4 teams at the top of the ticker there, awful. Sheffield United, Southampton for the short term. Really, really bad fixtures. And yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. I will be tinkering around a bit more regarding my specific transfers. But to be honest with you, like I said, I'm pretty much set on this team, to be honest. 3-5-2 formation. I've done the most briefest overview of rotation with defenders, and those three, give or take, have a decent running. But I think I probably will bring in Vinagre, to be honest. In fact, you know what? Let's do it now. Let's just quickly do a live transfer for the hell of it, and I'll probably bring in Vinagre for Lascelles, considering that Newcastle only seem to keep clean sheets at home, but their home fixtures upcoming aren't particularly that appealing. So let's just put in Vinagre there. There he is. Submit team. And of course it's crashed. Brilliant. Of course I can't do it on here. Brilliant. But yeah, that's what I will probably do for now. All I will say is that good morning to the guys that have actually joined in this morning. Our man Dylan, good morning to you. It's 10:42 a.m. Earliest stream ever. I don't think it's the earliest stream. I'm sure I've done a lot more earlier than this. I'm sure I have, mate. BNMC. Liverpool have 6 home and 4 away. It was actually me that tweeted that. I have no idea what you're talking about. So, Garash Palakau, Vardy got the form and some great fixtures. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I think he is an absolute certainty to have. Sajit saying thank you for the info. No, thank you for joining in. It's very important that we cover all this particular virtual FPL game. Moving just quickly on to real life FPL, where we haven't had an update of yet, mainly because yesterday, bit disappointing really. Yesterday I was kind of hoping that we would get some information about fixtures. Some information was leaked apparently at the fact that Brighton have said that they've got Arsenal first game, which means that Arsenal's double game week will be Man City and Brighton. I personally don't really have any interest in that whatsoever. I think certainly waiting for news on the upcoming fixtures, which apparently they're having a meeting today. I don't know when that meeting is going to be taking place, but certainly I am waiting for news to come out, because I was waiting for news yesterday, you see, and I was hoping that once the news broke, I'll be able to bring to you exactly what's going on regarding FPL-wise fixtures, etc., which in turn would mean that we could all get a general idea of how we would play the free hit or the wild card if you still had it, if the game does give us unlimited transfers. But until basically the fixtures are announced, there is going to be no announcement whatsoever regarding FPL. We have got, well, I think it's less than 2 weeks. What is it? The 17th of June is when the first fixture is going to be. So that makes it, well, yeah, pretty much less than 2 weeks. 1 week and 6 days until the first fixture. And was it the 19th? I can't quite remember now, but whatever. The point being is that we've got about 2 weeks to go. And really, the actual fantasy football game itself, is waiting for the same information as we all are, which is what the fixtures are. Up on screen now is my actual FPL team, and do you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with it. You know, I've got all my chips intact, which means that if the game does return, and it doesn't, which, again, it's still a 50-50 chance whether it gives us unlimited transfers or not. I have a feeling I don't know. It's funny because the more information you listen to, the more information that you read about on forum sites, is that one of the arguments being that, you know, if the game was going to give us unlimited transfers, then why would it allow us to make transfers throughout the game weeks that were open and all this? And I just think to shoot that argument down, well, they didn't know that the football season would be completely postponed after game week 38, which again is completely understandable. The argument for is just the fact that it's the usual thing, isn't it? Well, we want to bring you back the casuals, people that, you know, don't really take this game seriously like people like us. And yeah, it's just one of those where I think that when the game does restart, it's just going to give you unlimited transfers before game week 1 or game week 39, however they term it. And yeah, I think that everybody is just going to load up on double game week players. And I think, again, I've come to the conclusion that it is an advantage for people like me. I think it will be an advantage for people like me because I have got all 3 chips in play. But yeah, other than that, hopefully, I'm hoping this hasn't crashed. If it has crashed, which I'm pretty certain it has, yay, brilliant. So yeah, there we have it, everybody. That's the preview show. I will quickly say this. Just stay tuned for any potential impromptu streams that I could be doing today regarding fixture announcement. I think there is a meeting taking place today where whoever the football authorities are going to be, I think they're speaking to all the clubs and they're going to be basically showing them what their fixtures are. And if they're happy with it, if they're not happy with it, etc., etc. So stay tuned for a potential impromptu stream. If not, then it's the same old story, really. Wait until Jason goes live tonight at 7 p.m, where I'm going to assume he's going to be covering the games, basically. Other than that, what I will say is that, as ever, thanks for joining me live this morning. Anybody watching the replay, thank you for watching this. Well, it's the final 10 game week preview, to be honest with you. Tonight's fixtures, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. Other than that, just follow us on Twitter at Elite FPL, where we just send out quote-unquote funny videos of our streams and obviously let you guys know when we are going live next. Follow us on Discord, of course, where you can talk all things virtual FPL and, of course, all things FPL. And apart from that, if you enjoyed the stream, just simply hit the like button. If you are completely brand new around here, just hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content that myself and Jason bring to you. Other than that, I will see you whenever I next see you. Take it easy, guys, and have a good morning.